7 News Detroit starts with breaking news.
The time is now 4 o'clock. If you are just joining us, we have been live on the air since 12:30. A suspect dead after an attack at a Jewish temple in Oakland County.
It happened this afternoon at Temple Israel off Walnut Lake Road near Drake and West Bloomfield. Police saying a man armed with a rifle rammed a truck through the front doors. The suspect then exchanging gunfire with security guards before being shot and killed.
You know, this incident triggering a massive response by law enforcement. The Temple School placed on a precautionary lockdown for hours. Other schools in the area ordered to shelter in place. So, you know, a lot of people were so frightened by this. The attack leaving neighbors on edge.
We are a very close-knit community internationally, so we all support each other, and when someone is hurting in one place, people in another place call and just make sure they're doing okay. Most important is to do acts of goodness and kindness to make the world a better place. That's really what we're all here for.
We're expecting an update from law enforcement officials in West Bloomfield Township later in the hour. We will bring that to you live just as soon as it begins. Well,
we have been covering this breaking news situation live here on Channel 7 and, of course, on TV 20 all day long. A team of our reporters have been on the scene since this story broke. 7 News Detroit reporter Randy Wembley is there as well. So, Randy, explain to us where you are right now and what are you seeing?
Hey guys, I'm over at the intersection of Drake and Walnut Lake. I'm about 100 feet away, a few hundred feet away from Temple Israel. Here are some big points you can hang your hat on. The suspect in this situation is dead. Thankfully, no kids or teachers were injured, but a security guard was hurt. I want to have you take a look behind me. Still very much an active scene. This all happened around 12:30 this afternoon. Everyone believed to have been in the building at the time has been accounted for. The suspect drove his truck through a door at the Temple Israel. That truck somehow caught fire and there was smoke seen coming from the building. More on that in just a moment. Investigators say the suspect rammed a lead security team member at Temple Israel with his vehicle, knocking him unconscious. Other security members pulled that wounded member from danger. Investigators say he is expected to be okay. The Oakland County Sheriff's Office says when the suspect drove down the hall in Temple Israel, the security team engaged him. Investigators are not yet saying if the suspect fired any shots inside, but those security team members did fire on him. That suspect later found dead. Take a listen to Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard. Did she say no sound or sound? Okay. All right. So now, Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard, he could not say what exactly killed the suspect. He can't say that at this point, but he did say that the security team did engage the suspect with gunfire. They do know a bit about that fire. Something inside the suspect's truck ignited, so they are working right now with an abundance of caution to clear that vehicle for IEDs or explosives. They've got a number of bomb dogs on the site. They're going to be checking all of their boxes just to ensure that everything is safe and clear here at Temple Israel. Law enforcement still clearing the area, building and vehicles for explosive devices. The focus now in this investigation on if the suspect had any accomplices. Now, parents and family members are reuniting, as you mentioned earlier, over at the Jewish Community Center, which is not too far from Temple Israel. A shelter in place for this immediate area, Walnut Lake, from what I'm hearing, between Farmington and Halstead, has been lifted. We are hoping to get another update from investigators in a couple of hours. For now, we're live in West Bloomfield. I'm Randy Wembley, 7 News Detroit.
Randy, are you saying that they're not clear yet if the suspect did fire shots? Is that what you were hearing from law enforcement?
Yeah, the last that we heard from Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard is that they cannot say at this moment, they're not saying at this moment, if the suspect fired any shots. They have some information about that, but nothing that they can release at the moment. But as he did drive through that the campus there into one of the buildings at Temple Israel, that the security team members did engage that suspect. And right now I'm getting a public safety alert. It's buzzing in my ear at the moment. West Bloomfield Police, shelter in place lifted. There is no longer an active threat. Please continue to avoid the area. That's a message that just came through on my phone from West Bloomfield Police, a public safety alert. Shelter in place lifted. There is no longer an active threat. Please continue to avoid the area.
Well, you know what? Thank you so much, Randy, for your updates. This is a breaking news situation, and we've heard several press conference by Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard trying to keep us abreast of what's going on. And he did say, after the suspect rammed his vehicle, somehow it ignited. He did have a rifle, and I'm sure they don't know for sure whether he got a chance to get that rifle, because if that security team surrounded his vehicle, they may have shot and killed him, and then he might have burned up. But just don't know.
Based on the ramming of the building and having the rifle, they are obviously clearly engaging him with gunfire. And then, of course, they're going to still be looking into what started the fire. Did he have something additional in his truck like we've seen in other incidents? Or is it just the fact that the truck was shot and things started to explode? And
whether he acted alone. We do have Shay on the phone, and I do believe Shay is a student in West Bloomfield and may have gone to school at Temple Israel. Not sure. Shay, your school was just let out of lockdown, correct?
Yes, correct. We were let out after 1 hour of a hard lockdown. So our normal dismissal time is 2:23, and they released us out of the building at 3:23.
So Shay, tell us, you were in lockdown, obviously, with other students. What were you saying to each other? Did you know what happened at Temple Israel? Did you all have your phones, or just tell us what the situation was like?
Yeah, so we were getting ready to leave our 5th hour class, and then over the PA announcement, our principal, Eric Pace, made an announcement saying that we are under a soft lockdown, but he didn't disclose any information. So my teacher, she was going on Google, seeing what was going on, and then she discovered that there was something unfolding at Temple Israel down the street from us. And then all of my peers around me, we were all like turning to each other, like, what do we do or anything? And we were all just really scared, and we were just praying and hoping that everybody is alive and is A-okay.
Shay, before Heather jumps in here, I was reading something from you, and you were saying that we are West Bloomfield and Temple Israel strong. Absolutely sickening. No other way to put it. I'm a complete mess. When you wrote that, I mean, what were you thinking, especially when you say we are West Bloomfield and Temple Israel strong?
Yeah, so West Bloomfield Township has a unique bond with each other. We all, we're one big community where we all love each other, and we know we can get through anything because we're stronger and bigger and better together. And then Temple Israel is strong. Temple Israel is actually the largest Reform Judaism congregation in North America. So if we all come together as one, we know we can be stronger than anything.
Absolutely. What were the other students talking about as you guys were watching this unfold? It must have just been absolutely terrifying for all of you.
Oh my God. So we were all petrified because we were actually, in my class, we were reviewing for a test on Monday, and we were all watching the live stream from you guys. I think it was from the helicopter. Yeah, we saw all of the medical personnel and all of the cars down Walnut Lake, and we were just beside ourselves. We had no idea what to do. We were just calling everybody we knew, basically.
Now, Shay, I want to ask you a question. I know you are 16, but I'm looking at your message here, and you said, I believe I was in one of the classrooms where you believe the fire happened in one of the classrooms where you had preschool in. So you were in preschool at Temple Israel, so this is really personal for you.
Yes. So I attended preschool there at Temple Israel from ages 2, 3, and 4. In that front classroom where I believe the fire ignited, but I haven't seen any images myself or anything, but I believe that's the classroom where I was in. And that hits close to me.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what is that like for you to see that happening? What a place where you used to attend school.
It's just so disheartening. It's awful to see because I did not have this on my bingo card today. I never thought this would ever happen to my temple, but unfortunately, anti-Semitism is a thing, and we have to put an end to it.
Well, Shay, thank you. I'm glad you're safe. I'm glad you had your classmates to be there with you, and I'm glad no one was killed at your temple. And you are part of West Bloomfield Temple Israel Strong. Thank you so much for letting us hear your voice today.
Thank you, Carolyn and Heather.
Thank you. Let's go now to our Tiara Braddock. She is outside the JCC, which has been the reunification point today for all of the parents that have just been through this nightmare today.
Yeah, that's right, Heather. Nightmare is the word. No parent wants to get a call that there is an active shooter near their kids. Now, we are toward the edge of the campus. I'm going to move slowly around and turn the camera around. So we are on the side of the street, but from my vantage point, I have been able to see some parents hugging their children, and then they have come out through their cars. So we haven't been able to stop them just yet, since they have been kind of getting out very quickly. Of course, they want to go home and be with their families and just hug their children. I just seen one little boy in his mom's arms, and it really makes you emotional thinking about what they've all been through. Here from Shay just now, no one thought that this was going to happen today, and no one wants to go through this, not a parent, not anyone. And I was just even talking to the husband of the woman who works at the JCC, and they were even shook up. You know, this is quite frightening for everyone in this community. No one wants to deal with anything like this. And now I did speak to Sam Bennett. He is the husband. Now, hopefully we do have some soundbite from that man who just described what he had thought when he got that call from his wife. Let's play that if we have it.
It's something that's always on my mind ever since October 7th. There's been a fear of that happening. And unfortunately, I think now we're at a time where it could go either direction, and it's just been a very scary time, and we just have to protect ourselves. And thankfully, Temple Israel has an incredible security team who I believe, from what I've been hearing, stopped the threat. And I think that's a testament to the people they chose to hire and the amount of money they chose to put into that.
And you know what? We're just getting word that we can head in. I believe there's going to be a press briefing. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to see what we can get more information. We are just getting waved in, which we have not been able to do since I've been out here. So I am going to go just so we can get some more information.
Thank you so much, Tiara Braddock, live for us out there right outside the Jewish Community Center, where we saw so many pictures of kids reuniting with their parents, and I'm sure they're going to let us know what's going on, and maybe all of the kids now are safely in the arms of their kids.
We'll be right back.
Thank you for staying with us here on 7 News Detroit at 4, where we are following breaking news out of West Bloomfield Township, an attack on Temple Israel in West Bloomfield Township. Thankfully, no victims, but the shooter is dead, burned up in his vehicle where he rammed it into the temple earlier today, right around 12:30.
We want to go live now to former FBI Supervisor Andy Bartnowak. Andy, talk to us about what law enforcement is focusing on at this stage in the day, since this happened a couple of hours ago.
Well, they're focusing on, I think, two things. One is it's still a crime scene there. So there's in all likelihood evidence technicians there who are conducting their investigation. And then the second part of that will be the other part of the investigation, which will be fully identifying the assailant and finding out, motivation, who else he's connected to. They're going to be looking for a digital footprint, searching phones, computers, probably conduct a search warrant on the address where he resides at, looking for anything else that can point to clues on whether or not this was somebody who was acting by themselves, or whether or not this is part of perhaps a larger, a larger plan where maybe there's other people involved and perhaps other targets. And it's all speculative, but that's the kind of things that investigators would be keying in on at this point.
Andy, the lockdown has been lifted. You know, schools in the area, the lockdown lifted. We've even talked to a student who was on lockdown, but there are so many police vehicles still on the scene. We know this is a crime scene, but for those of us who don't know what's happening right now, when there's still so many police vehicles on scene, what is happening?
Well, I suspect that they're still coordinating and sharing information, right? The responding units, they're still getting information on, they're still interviewing people who were involved with the initial incident. And they're coordinating all that information. There's reports to be done. There's photographs to be taken. And also, while investigators are still working, they still want to have enough of a law enforcement presence out there to keep the scene safe. And again, just to make sure that there's no other issues while they're conducting their investigation out there. I suspect as we go further into the evening, while there'll still be a presence there, it may be reduced to some degree as the night progresses.
Andy, talk to us about the importance of training from your years in the FBI. I mean, obviously law enforcement agencies have had to continue to train for these types of tragic events. Why is that so essential to be constantly ready for something like this?
Well, it's just kind of it's where we are in 2026, right? We certainly learned a lot of lessons from 9/11 and that point on, and now we have a new conflict going on with Iran. So there's a lot of intelligence I suspect out there. There's been reports this week about whether or not there's going to be other targeted attacks. Could there be targeted attacks here in the United States? And law enforcement is much more prepared now, than they were 20 years ago. And they have to be, just because they have to constantly meet the ever increasing demand of people that are trying to cause harm to this country. So we're better prepared now. I think the coordination between the state, the local, and the federal law enforcement agencies is probably better than it's ever been before. And all those things are essential when you're dealing with threats like this.
In your training, Andy, I mean, when we see a situation like this, we saw the situation in Grand Blanc in September and other difficult situations in between, but how often will we see another attack right behind something like this that happened today in West Bloomfield? We're always concerned about a copycat right behind this one, correct?
Yeah, I certainly think that law enforcement has that in the back of their minds as well. Is this going to be a precursor to somebody else trying the same thing? It's always certainly always a concern, but I think the coordination is vital, and I think law enforcement does a great job of coordination. Certainly, they're going to learn some things from this investigation. If there's other intel out there, it's going to get shared not only in the law enforcement community, but shared to our other business partners and others in the community. Certainly, if there is a threat, it'll get communicated to whatever organization is the target of that threat, and law enforcement will take the appropriate response. But I think when something like this happens, law enforcement, like you said, is always concerned about, hey, is this going to be a precursor to somebody else trying a similar type of incident at perhaps another location? So I think in the meantime, everybody's going to be on heightened alert.
We heard earlier from the special agent in charge of the ATF here in Detroit, and he was telling us that they've got very specific arson investigators and people that are bomb squad experts. From a federal resource standpoint, how important is having those kinds of people with that kind of training on a scene like this?
Well, again, I think it just goes back to, having more people involved, right, instead of dumping this all on one agency. I mean, there's going to be a lead agency. The FBI would be responsible because this would probably, in all likelihood, is a terrorist act. So they'll have the lead on it. But that doesn't mean that they go in there and just say, okay, well, we have the scene now, we've got it. They're working with other agencies, ATF and the state police and the local police. It's a really coordinated effort because really everybody brings something to the table. and it takes coordination and cooperation amongst the agencies. They're far more effective with that. Again, with some of the lessons we learned after 9/11, we're much stronger when we work together. So having those resources available at all levels is essential to an investigation.
Well, Andy, we certainly appreciate all of your expertise in jumping on the phone with us as a former FBI supervisor. Is there anything else that you want to share with us, or is there anything else that we really need to tell the public right now?
Yeah, I don't think we have enough information. I think we're going to find out, in the next 24, 48, 72 hours. I think, there'll probably be some briefings. We'll find out more about this assailant. And, we'll find out if perhaps there is any connection to outsiders. But it's going to take a while. There's a lot of work to be done, which they're doing now. So I think we have to be patient. But I think we're gonna get more information as the days go by.
Absolutely. Andy Bart-Nowak, former supervisor of the FBI here in Detroit, thank you so much for your expertise and for staying with us today as we cover this unfolding situation. Temple Israel, an active shooter situation is how it first came in earlier today. Security at Temple Israel engaged with the suspect as he rammed the temple with his vehicle. The suspect is deceased, and law enforcement are trying to put the pieces together to figure out exactly what happened here and why.
Absolutely. And this is a breaking news situation, and we are just learning from investigators that 8 first responders have been hurt. We don't know the extent of their injuries or how they were hurt. We keep saying that there were no victims in this. Luckily, nobody was killed, but we do know a security personnel at Temple Israel was hit by the suspect's vehicle, so he was hurt. Now we're just learning that 8 first responders have been hurt in this situation as well.
We'll have to learn more about the extent of those injuries, but we could see from the aerial footage that we captured earlier, all of them rushing into the building, of course concerned because there's a early childhood center there, there's kindergartners there, there's young children on scene, and there was a fire, an active fire that was underway. So hopefully all of those first responders are okay.
Yeah, we just don't know the extent of their injuries, but thank goodness we saw footage of so many children coming out of Temple Israel. We know no children were hurt, and they have been reunited with their parents. We don't know if each and every one of them have been reunited, but by this time we're going to assume that they have been.
Hopefully they have, and RTR Braddock is there at the JCC, which was the reunification point, and I know she's trying to get an updated briefing from
they
them.
allowed her to go inside.
Yeah, and but yeah, we saw lots of parents, grandparents, relatives coming out with all those little kids, and fortunately the children had smiles on their faces as they left. We heard earlier from neighbors who spoke to our broadcast talking about how they all came running into the neighborhood fleeing Temple Israel, and they were able to shelter them in their garage. At one point, 40 kids in one person's garage, trying to keep them all warm, keep them safe, and keep them calm.
And I think that's what we heard from that little young guy, Shay, who called in. He's only 16 years old, and he was on lockdown at his West Bloomfield High School, and he said he went to preschool right there at Temple Israel, and he said they are West Bloomfield strong, and that whole community bonding together over this, jumping into service as they always do when something horrible happens. So neighbors helping neighbors, Temple Israel, their staff, their teachers jumping into action, and of course we can't thank law enforcement enough. I mean, the ATF, West Bloomfield Police, the SWAT team from the Sheriff's Department, they were all right there trying to get this situation under control, as we have seen and as we've been covering here live. Now, I do believe we have a new statement from Temple Israel that we want to read to you right now.
Dear Temple Israel family, it says everyone is safe. All 140 students in our Susan and Harold Loss Early Childhood Center, our amazing staff, our courageous teachers, and our heroic security personnel are all accounted for and safe. As you've no doubt heard, Temple Israel was the victim of a terrorist gunman who was confronted and neutralized by our security personnel, who are truly heroes. Our teachers followed their training and kept the children safe and calm.
We are deeply and humbly grateful to our teachers, staff, security, law enforcement, and Shenandoah Country Club that welcomed us, fed us, and sheltered our staff, teachers, children, and parents What incredible neighbors we have. What incredible police and other authorities we have. This note is coming to you before we know anything about our future programming or services or any investigation. We wanted you to know we are safe and we love you all. And it was really important for us to get that out because so many people have been sending us notes from the community. And I think they just wanted to thank neighbors again who jumped into action and all of the police agencies who jumped into action to keep their kids safe. And we have heard, of course, from investigators that 8 first responders have been hurt. Again, we don't know the extent of their injuries, but we've covered many breaking news stories that have ended horribly. This one did not.
It did not. And the security, the head of the security team who was injured was hit by the vehicle, but the sheriff saying earlier, not life-threatening. So we are all hoping and praying that everybody who was injured is okay. Fortunately, none of the children hurt.
Absolutely. And that suspect, as we've told you over and over again, is dead. You know, he burned up in that vehicle. We don't know whether he was able to fire off that rifle that he had in his vehicle or whether he was just shot by that security team. It was difficult to know because there was so much smoke. When he rammed that vehicle into Temple, Israel, it exploded or caught fire. And that's why we saw plumes of smoke coming from Temple, Israel, which is a really big facility. But we heard, again, 16-year-old Shay, who goes to school right there in West Bloomfield and was on lockdown. He said he went to preschool right there, and he believes right there in the front of Temple, Israel, that is where the preschool classes are.
Absolutely. Let's go back live once again to our Simon Shakette. He is live in the neighborhood. Okay, sorry. Actually, Simon is probably still trying to get into position for us, but he's been out there all day. We'll hear from him in just a moment. We've had our Randy Wimbley, we've had Tiara Braddock, Brett Cast. Everybody has been out there. Our team has done their very best to get us all of the updated information all day today, as again, you know, this community just coming together, whether it was neighborhoods, and now we're learning the nearby country club helping out.
And amazing that Brett Cast, who's been out there live for us as well, actually told the story about one neighbor having 40 kids
in his garage.
So I can't wait until we can connect with him to hear what he did to keep 40 little children from a preschool calm. But you and I both, Heather, have said, I think the most welcome sight today, and you're not seeing it right now, but so many young kids skipping out of the Jewish Community Center with their parents, hugging them and just happy to be back into the arms of their parents.
Absolutely. Let's go back now live to our Brett Cast, who is right next to Temple, Israel. Brett?
Yeah, Heather, we're still in that spot here, right on that berm, right in front of Temple, Israel, and we've still seen quite a bit of a law enforcement presence and a fire department presence as well, especially focused on the front end of the building where we believe that's the spot where the car had been driven into the building. You can still see the Oakland County SWAT car as well as the Michigan State Police car over there, and we've seen quite a bit of movement, I guess, of, you know, law enforcement going in and out of that area here with the fire department still on scene, but a lot of it has cleared out. We used to see, you know, a number of law enforcement agents even standing on this berm right here. They have since left the area. A lot of the parking lot is cleared out, but there still is a scene here, and it seems to be that they'll be here for quite some time, again, focused on that area where it looks like the car had actually driven into the building. And we did talk to, again, homeowners, as you mentioned before, who kind of saw what was happening, and the one homeowner who welcomed about 40 kids or so into his garage. And then we saw the buses coming, picking them up, and then reuniting them at the reunification center with their families a little bit earlier here today. So again, we've seen it definitely calming down a bit here on scene. The parking lot is emptying. Some of the law enforcement is clearing out of the area. We've been able to get a lot closer than we previously were allowed to get earlier. And not too long ago, I just got the alerts on our phone that even though we knew this had already happened, the lockdown had ended throughout the area. The shelter in place, I should say, had ended throughout the area. So that alert was sent out on phones here within the last hour or so, I'd say, or maybe half an hour. But we still see quite a bit of law enforcement on scene, just monitoring the area. We've seen them walking around the building. We even saw some canine dogs sniffing the area around the building, just making sure it was safe and secure here. Obviously, just making sure, you know, crossing T's, dotting I's, and making sure that this area is safe here as they continue to investigate. Again, focusing that investigation right now, it appears from our vantage point, at the front part of the building where that car had driven in. So we're going to obviously stay here on scene to witness what is going on, but we also know we have crews waiting to hear an update from police and from Sheriff Bouchard a little bit later on in this evening here in the next hour or so. So we're expecting to hear some more information. But again, no one seriously hurt, it sounds like. We do know, as you mentioned, law enforcement agents injured here, but we do not know the extent of that. But luckily, no one was killed besides the suspect here at Temple Israel as law enforcement continues their investigation.
That is certainly the good news. Thank you so much, Brett, for all of your live reporting for us right now. We are going to take a break, but we're going to continue to follow this breaking news and follow it until the end.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to 7 News Detroit at 4, where we continue to follow breaking news about an active shooter situation at Temple Israel in West Bloomfield Township. Of course, that shooter is now deceased, and we are following the investigation.
Let's go now to 7 News Detroit anchor Simon Shaquette, who's live at the scene. Simon?
Yeah, Heather, Carolyn, we've moved around the corner. We're just along Drake Road. You can see more police presence over here around the corner from Temple Israel. And for the last several hours, I've been talking with and staying in contact with a number of members of the Jewish community, rabbis, various clergy figures, and also some community activist groups, community organizations that represent the Jewish community, and one of them is the Anti-Defamation League. Their regional director wanting to put out a message. Her name is Alyssa Schmier, and she's also a member of Temple Israel. She shared her thoughts with me just a short while ago. Take a listen. Okay, and we're going to gather that interview for you and share it with you in just a short while. But really what I want to drive home, what she shared with me in that interview is just how jarring this was for her as a fourth-generation member of Temple Israel. She talked about kind of the terrifying nature of something like this happening, and so many children who attend religious school there, also for the families, for the parents, and for all those who are still in disbelief that something like this actually unfolded there today. She also talked about her appreciation for law enforcement and those security officers who responded so quickly to save lives. And you're going to be hearing more from Melissa coming up at 5 p.m., and we want to get that sound ready for you. But just people still processing exactly what has happened out here, and just thankful that this did not end so much worse. We'll want to send it back to you now.
So much, Simon, for being on the ground there for us. We're going to turn now to Boris Krasnov. He's on the phone. He is a parent whose child attends Temple Israel, and we saw so many parents being reunited with their children. So, Boris, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. So tell me, your child was in the preschool today?
Daycare.
In daycare?
Yeah, a little over a year old. And I'll say the good news, my wife just came home with him.
Oh, my goodness. So thank goodness is right. We saw so many parents hugging their kids. So what was that like when you heard word that there was an active shooter at Temple Israel and your baby was inside there?
It's just really surreal. I mean, you hear about this stuff all the time, but in the moment, it's strange how almost calm you are, because you can't afford to panic. Just keep refreshing your phone, trying to find out what's going on. I think that the hard part was all the kind of mixed information we were getting. At one point, we were able to go and get my son. We thought things were good, but then we looked it up, and we didn't see that that they said that they had the shooter. So it was still an active situation. So until we got that headline that the shooter was killed, or the shooter was killed, we couldn't really relax, and we couldn't even panic.
How did you first learn about it, Boris?
So we got a text message from one of my son's teachers, and they really do a fantastic job there. But it was a text message that said basically the kids are fine, they're watching Elmo, everyone is safe, and that's all it said. So you get a text message like that, you instantly hop online, try to figure out what's going on, Then I saw a story that popped up like 2 minutes prior about an active situation at the daycare.
I mean, it had to have been frightening, even if the teacher said the kids are fine and watching something. But for you to have a baby in there, until you get your baby back in your arms, and I know you said your wife just got home, but what do you want to say about your security team? I mean, they jumped into action and stopped this man from going into your temple with a rifle.
Yeah, you know, the unfortunate thing is my wife and I have talked about this before, because she, when she goes in there, everyone, especially security, is so friendly. And she knows that they're all, you know, retired officers and how dedicated they are to their job. So, you know, we're confident in the security there. I mean, they proved it today. It's unfortunate that they had to, but here we are.
What's going through your mind as you've been through this today and you see what's been happening, you know, both across the country and across the world? When you think about your children being safe, how upsetting is this for you as a family?
You know, it's really indescribable once you actually have to face it yourself. And I think one of the things like that was said, that this being a religious school, and it absolutely is, but for my wife and I, it's just a daycare. You know, at the end of the day, that's what it is. There's nothing political behind this for us.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Nothing political behind it. I mean, if you took your child, it doesn't matter where you took your child. And we heard Senator Alyssa Slotkin saying there is no place for hate or violence of any kind in this world, especially at any kind of house of worship. And so, I mean, we just, thank goodness your child is safe and all of the kids there, because it could have gone another way. I mean, it really could have. Do you have a message for our community? Do you have a message for this man who is now deceased?
I've got nothing to say to the guy who's deceased, but to the community, I would just say stay together. Make sure that when something like this happens, it's not something you're choosing sides on. It's something that's bringing people together.
Thank you, Boris, so much. We so appreciate you taking time to talk to us, and we are so incredibly grateful that your son is okay and that everybody is back home safe. We appreciate you so much.
The community support and the security and all the staff over at Temple Israel.
Absolutely. Thank you, Boris. Right now, you heard us talking about Senator Alyssa Slotkin and what the passionate word that she gave the community earlier. We're going to listen to that sound again right now.
I know this place very well. Grew up not far from there, and law enforcement are still securing the scene. I'm not going to get ahead of the police. We have to listen to the warnings that they are putting out to the local community. That includes friends and family of mine who are sheltering in place and follow law enforcement. But I will just say everyone deserves the right to worship in peace. Everyone. And an act of anti-Semitism, an act of violence, of hate, should be treated to the fullest extent of the law. And I'm so sick of another one of these incidents all the time in my community, across the country. And I think we need to acknowledge that we have a problem. And I'm just sick about it. So we will keep people posted. More will come out. We will learn about the intentions of this madman. But in the meantime, this is very personal. And I'm just so sick of communities of all kinds not being able to worship in peace. And this time the Jewish community is again on the receiving end of abhorrent violence. And I'm over it.
So passionate in what she said. I mean, just a message that houses of worship should be able to worship in peace and without violence.
No matter your faith. No matter your faith. And that was her very clear message there. She obviously, she is from Michigan. She grew up here. And
grew up right near that temple.
Absolutely. And she has had, as an elected official, to deal with multiple active shooter tragedies in our state in the last couple of years and has had to respond.
I think we're going to listen to sound from Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard. I know he's going to be giving another press conference shortly, but I believe this is sound from earlier today. Take a listen.
At least one individual came to the temple. Security saw him engage in fire. The scene, we're not getting any active stimulus at the moment. We have everything here that we need, including, medics and tactical gear. We're looking to see if there's more than one person. We're still trying to figure that out. We're trying to get access to the video. At the moment, we have people that shelter in place for at least a mile area until we determine that there's no one else that maybe was on foot and fled the area. Exactly what's going on, number one. Number two, reunification will be at the JCC, the Jewish Center, and that's where parents will go to pick up their kids. It's going to be secured by law enforcement, so no fear there. If you have nothing to do with
That was Sheriff Bouchard there updating us earlier that shelter in place, though, has been lifted as of right now. We do have a new statement from Temple Israel. It says, "Dear Temple Israel family, everyone is safe. All 140 students in our Susan and Harold Loss Early Childhood Center, our amazing staff, our courageous teachers, and our heroic security personnel are all accounted for and safe." As you've no doubt heard, Temple Israel was the victim of a terrorist gunman who was confronted and neutralized by our security personnel, who are truly heroes. Our teachers followed their training and kept the children safe and calm.
We are deeply and humbly grateful to our teachers, staff, security, law enforcement, and Shenandoah Country Club that welcomed us, fed us, and sheltered our staff, teachers, children, and parents. What incredible neighbors we have. What incredible police we have. This note is coming to you before we know anything about our future programming or services or any investigation. We just wanted you to know we are safe and we love you all. And we just heard from a parent who had a 1-year-old in that preschool at the temple, and just grateful. He talked about that staff and just grateful and felt secure that he knew the security team would handle things and that his child was safe with those teachers.
Absolutely, and that's what they did today. Let's get back to our 7 News Detroit anchor Simon Shaquette live at the scene. Simon?
Yeah, it was just a short while ago we were talking with Rabbi Benny Greenwald here from the nearby Friendship Circle out at the scene, which is still very active from where we are stationed here along Drake and Walnut Lake Road, talking about just taking in what has happened and how devastating something like this is for the families that are living through what they've experienced here today. Also had the opportunity to speak with the regional director for Michigan of the ADL, sharing her perspective. She too is a member, a 4th-generation member of Temple Israel. Here's what she had to say.
I think the biggest thing that we are grateful for is that it seems that everyone has gotten out safe. We are incredibly thankful to law enforcement, especially the armed guards at Temple Israel. But I think the biggest question that I have is that reality of having armed guards at our house of worship in the first place. And how do we move forward in a way to make that not necessary for our children? There's a preschool that was directly attached to the synagogue. All of these little innocent, beautiful children were impacted by this. And this is now trauma that they're going to have to live with moving forward. And so, the first thing is to embrace my Jewish community, thank God for their safety. And then we will continue to move forward, advocating on behalf of our safety and the right for us to be able to pray and teach our children and come together.
And Elisa Schmier also talking to me about just how difficult it will be for families to explain this to their children that are living through this. Also, she talked about the support from the community, and we heard leaders from Temple Israel talk about the support from the community, in particular the club just across the street, the Shenandoah Country Club, a Chaldean American club where so many people are close friends with those just across the street at Temple Israel. They invited them to come over. They welcomed them. They provided food and shelter during that time as all of this was unfolding, and they just wanted to express their gratitude. As you heard from their statement, we'll be hearing more from the ADL coming up at 5 p.m. For now, we'll send it back to you.
And Simon, that's so important to mention because West Bloomfield is such a diverse community. I mean, you know that, a big Jewish community, a big Chaldean community. I mean, so many, African Americans, whites, I mean, everybody in that community and support each other. And just as you saw across the street, and the Jewish Community Center where those kids were reunited with those parents. I mean, I told you my kids were there.
It's open to everyone.
It's open to everyone and just a welcoming community. And that's why I think everyone just jumped into action. And I think that's why people are so grateful. Even neighbors jumping into action and bringing kids into their garage, 40 strong.
40 children in your garage. What a sight to see. I mean, that is what our community is. We're an incredibly diverse community and people genuinely want to help each other. So that's exactly what we saw today. We saw this unbelievable first responder response that was instantaneous and massive. And we saw neighbors, people in the homes next to Temple Israel opening their doors to let preschoolers in and keep them busy and occupied while this all unfolded. As their parents were reunited, we saw smiles on their faces.
They were skipping.
We heard Boris talking about his son was watching Elmo. So, I mean, hopefully the children, obviously this will be impactful and traumatic, but hopefully they were able to kind of keep them a little bit insulated from what was going on.
Yes, and talk to them. Of course, you're going to have to talk to your children, but good to know that they weren't so impacted that they weren't coming out crying and they were just, hugging their parents. And, as Boris talked about, a 1-year-old being in there and he wasn't relaxed or comforted until he saw his wife walk in with his child, as you might imagine. We have been following this breaking news since noon, and we've been on the air this entire time. And even though it's 4:51 at this point, there are still a lot of police vehicles on scene because this is definitely a crime scene. We don't know whether or not they have identified the suspect who crashed his car into Temple Israel and had a gun inside because he was burned up in that vehicle. And there was some confusion at first because there was fire and smoke and they didn't know exactly whether the shooter had been taken into custody. But of course he was burned up and is dead. And that's why you see so many police vehicles still investigating around Temple Israel.
Absolutely. There's still a huge presence. Some have left, but this is obviously still a very large response because this is now a very, very big crime scene. And as we've been talking about with various, retired law enforcement officials, the job now is to figure out if they can answer the question why, and if there were co-conspirators, who were they and where are they? And they're going to obviously do a deep dive into if there's been any kind of social media presence or chat room, or we don't know yet.
We just don't know.
And a non-political situation. We do not know, but that is what they will try to get to the bottom of, to try to bring some answers to the community. But again, just an incredible response from neighbors, from police, from the country club across the street, welcoming everybody from Temple Israel over to get away from this horrible situation that security teams had to engage someone with a rifle and as they rammed their vehicle into Temple Israel.
And we do just want to say our thoughts and prayers right now are, of course, with that one security person who was hit by the vehicle of that suspect who is now deceased. And of course, there are 8 first responders who have been injured, and we don't know the extent of their injuries. We don't know if they've been transported to the hospital, but of course, first responders jumped out of their vehicles, ran into that church trying to help teachers, those little kids in there, and anyone else in Temple Israel today. And thank goodness that that gunman did not get out of his vehicle with that weapon in hand, because it could have been much more tragic. He is now deceased, burned up in that vehicle. They are trying desperately to figure out his identity and some sort of motive, but that will take a while.
Law enforcement telling us earlier that while there was not a direct threat that they knew of against Temple Israel, all houses of worship, the temple had been aware that things have been possibly escalating and percolating, and so they were prepared, and they definitely had a wonderful security team that was very ready to handle this, and they did. They were able to stop this from getting so much worse.
Absolutely. Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard said, in fact, they got an alert just 2 weeks ago that something like this might happen. They already had a security team. In fact, our own 7 News Detroit reporter Rudolph Sinaida was there just a week ago talking to them about their security. But still, you never know until you're put in the situation. You don't know how quickly you'll be able to react, but they did today. They jumped right on that suspect. He did not get out and was not able to kill anyone at Temple Israel. So that is certainly good news for this entire community, that no one was killed today. And we got to hope not seriously injured again. 8 first responders injured. We don't know how serious their injuries are, but we are certainly praying for them, and also praying for that security person who was hit by that vehicle. I mean, a tragic situation, and they had to respond quickly.
Yes, and we heard that Henry Ford has been treating the first responders that were injured. Again, the extent of their injuries not known. The shelter in place has been lifted that was put in place earlier today. We had 2 school districts on lockdown. That's been lifted. Students were held a little bit longer in West Bloomfield School District while this was all unfolding, but everyone at the schools safe, teachers safe, and the preschoolers, the little ones at Temple Israel, as we are being told, all safe.
Again, the gunman who was armed with a rifle is dead. His vehicle caught on fire after crashing into Temple Israel. No child or staff were injured. 8 first responders, as we've been reporting, were taken to Henry Ford hospitals in West Bloomfield and Novi to be treated for their injuries.
Stay with us. 7 News Detroit at 5 is next.